What up, everyone? Welcome back to my Selena on vinyl series, I guess you could say. So thank you everyone who checked out the first video where we talked about Con Esta Copa with Abraham Quintanilla's group Los Dinos. And now I'm going to transition into some of the earlier work that Selena has that I own, because there's stuff out there that's earlier, but I just don't own it. So some of Selena's first recordings, Selena and Los Dinos' first recordings, were, I believe, only available in the format of cassette tape and then reprinted later on CD, and that was for the album Mis Primeras Grabaciones, I think. Yeah, I actually do not have that tape, nor do I have that cassette, or I'm sorry, the CD. But I was able to come across one of these compilation LPs, and so we're gonna go ahead and talk about that today. So what I have here is 15 Hits, the New Generation, Various Artists. This is a compilation album that was put out in 1984 by Freddie Records. It's a compilation album with a bunch of emerging artists that are new to the scene, that are new to making music, new to touring the local area and stuff like that. And so I think this label just wanted to put out an album that showcased all of these emerging talents. And Selena Y Los Dinos has 2 songs on this album. And from, like I said before, from my understanding, the music from Mis Primeras Grabaciones are not available on any other format besides tape and CD. There may be some of the songs on there floating around on some 45s, but as far as a full LP, I don't think that's ever been pressed on vinyl. And so this is the only place where these songs exist. So the 2 songs that are actually on this album are Ya Se Va and Tú Solamente Tu. Now, Tú Solamente Tu, I believe, comes out again later on Dulce Amor, I want to say. And that came out in 88, I think. All the Selena historians are going to come for me, I know that. But I don't know if that version was a re-record or not. I didn't do my research on that. But so really the only one that is on here that's not available elsewhere is Ya Se Va, unless it's on a 45 somewhere else. But I don't believe it's on any other album other than the one that's my first recordings on tape and CD. So I found this online. I don't remember if it was on eBay or if it was on Discogs. It wasn't terribly expensive. I think for just the 2 songs, I was kind of like, eh. But at the same time, my thought process was that those 2 songs weren't available in anywhere else. That first album was never pressed on record, which I wish it would have been. I have seen this album pop up on various Instagram feeds from record stores that I follow, specifically Sonido del Valle here in Los Angeles. I think they've had 1 or 2 copies come through there, but I already had it, and frankly the one that I had was in better condition than some of the ones that I've seen come up online. This is in actually like really good condition. I'd probably rate this like a very good plus. The cover is still intact. There's some wear on the top of the spine, but that's pretty much it. I'll give you a closer look at it in just a second, but yeah, it's in great condition for myself. It does on the back have a little blurb about all of the artists that are on here, so I'll read you what it says about Selena and Los Dinos. Selena y Los Dinos, a group with a promising future, with Selena's charming voice, a star that will shine all over Texas. Yeah, I believe this is probably just a local. Well, actually, Freddie Records is big. I have tons of Tejano music that's from Freddie. So this is a big label pushing out this this music. It was probably a really big break for Selena, and I'm just so envious of all the people that live in Texas, because they probably come across all of the Selena music all the time, because this is where it was first circulated. Actually, a lot of the Selena stuff that I've bought came from Texas, and you know they sell it for what they need to sell it for as far as cost goes, but I'm sure that you can get it a lot cheaper if you're there locally. So if you come across this stuff, get it, grab it. It's worth money. Keep it for yourself. I think music should be accessible. I understand that things are collector's items and whatnot, but I don't think that music needs to be $1,000 just for a record. So this is this album, and I'll give you a closer look at it now, and then I'll throw it on the turntable so we can listen to it. All right, so here we have the 15 hits, the new generation from various artists, featuring Selena Y Los Dinos. A little bit of a closer look at the cover here. Yeah, let's take a look at the other bands. We have La Sombra de Chicago, The Force, Laura Canales, Lantana Band, Selena Y Los Dinos, Grupo Mayo, Promesa Band, Los Chacos, and Grupo Lluvia. So there's all of the different artists there. This is so mid 80s. Look at this portrait studio picture. Here is Selena Los Dinos. This is actually that image that they used for this was actually the cover image for the cassette artwork and for the CD artwork for that album, Mis Primeras Grabaciones. And as you can see, everyone is super young. Selena, AB, and Suzette, and the other band members. Already they're in their dope disco shimmer pants and shoes. I think that their outfits look so 80s but so dope and flashy, right? They're definitely coming out with a look, and especially being so young. I mean, they're probably the youngest people on this album. Let's take a look at the backside. This is from Freddie Records. And here's the track listing here. On the first side, the last track is going to be Selena y Los Dinos Ya Se Va. And then on side 2, we've got Selena y Los Dinos Tu Solamente Tu. And got some wording over here. The New Generation is the title for the special LP with the participation of groups of the new generation. Even though Laura Canales, Los Chacos, y Grupo Mayo have been around for some time, they established the style of groups with keyboard, synthesizer, and sound effects. And that's a little bit more about everyone there. And then that little blurb about Selena and the group. A group with a promising future, that is for sure. You know, and it says Channel over Texas, which they did and still do, but you know, that's expanded globally. And here's a look at the actual wax and the label. You know, I get really annoyed when record companies don't put the year on the jacket, the sleeve, or the label. It's so frustrating. So I just gotta kind of go by what I find online. So like I said, I think this was 84. But all right, let's throw this on the turntable and give it a listen. So that was it. I hope y'all liked it. I hope that maybe this was something that you never heard before or never seen it on vinyl. I hope that it was exciting. I know that it was really awesome for me when it finally arrived and I opened it and I listened to it, and you know, it's really amazing to hear. It's so awesome to have physical copies here in my hand, to know that this came out, you know, when she was like 13 years old, I want to say. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But just the idea of having something in my hand that came out at the time that you know, these are time capsules essentially, basically, and to have the original piece that circulated around that time is really special. And you know, I can just imagine a young teenage Selena probably having a copy of this herself and being like, oh my God, like I'm in the company of all these other great artists. Like, this is actually a physical manifestation of what we've been working so hard for. This is my voice when I listen to on it. you know. And at this time in the mid 80s, you know, vinyl records and LPs and 45s weren't totally on the way out phase yet. I bet you this was incredibly special for her to have, and I'm sure that she was incredibly proud, and so was the rest of the family, to have been included on a compilation album such as this. You know, how exciting. I mean, you know how people, or we've always seen in movies or however, you know, when someone hears their song on the radio for the first time or something like that, and how exciting that could be. So yeah, this must be a really proud piece for Selena Los Dinos. Thanks for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram at Just For The Nostalgia to see all of the stuff that I posted. I post up close pictures and sound clips on my Instagram, just as long as it doesn't get, you know, copywritten and removed. And same thing for here on YouTube. So hopefully I'm able to post all of this without anyone taking it down, especially the Quintanilla family, because I think it's stuff that deserves to be shared with other folks and for everyone to enjoy it, especially the people that don't have this stuff in person for themselves. So follow me on Instagram at Just For The Nostalgia, and stay tuned for the next record. Okay, peace, y'all. Oh, and before I forget, you can also follow me on Discogs. My username on there is xbrownxclown. You can see in my collection, if you type in Selena, all the stuff that I have there as well. Also, you can see in my want list for all the things that I do not have that are from Selena Y Los Dinos as well. So if you're on Discogs, I'm xbrownxclown. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.